All right. But yeah, I think he did a what was it, a Space Marine mod or something?
Space Marine 2, yeah.
Yeah.
He did a good job explaining how certain things worked and didn't work because of the way the skins operate with the sprite in the game. So that was pretty interesting.
Cool. Yeah, I hadn't had time to check it out. I just saw it got posted and when it got approved for monetization and stuff. So, all right, let's get started. Oh, is this considered political stuff that we got up here? I don't know. I mean,
What, the Eval thing?
not well. Yeah, I mean, technically, I guess since Steam tagged it political, it probably is. Anyway, let's get started.
We're not going to talk about it politically, but yeah, I mean, it has the right tagline.
Plus, we got Elon Musk all up in the gaming news and geek news.
Yeah, but it's related to a gaming company.
Yeah, so
we're not talking about other stuff he wants to buy. We're talking about a video game.
Still.
Oh, no, I think we have the AI video game company, too. So, yeah, he pops up twice.
All right. Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q.
And on Skype.
We have Bloodaxe.
Let's get started. Man, yeah. You know, I went home for the holidays, and I had to suffer through quite a bit of political talk. So I'm gonna.
I know your family, yeah. Well, I have been taking massive advantage of the double XP Call of Duty 6 weekend.
Oh,
I'm Prestige 2 now.
You son of a gun! You passed me up,
dude. I'm one level away from Prestige 3. I've almost looped around to Prestige 3.
See, this is what it gets. I gotta go see family, and this.
In my
this
defense,
like
they did almost a whole week of freaking double XP.
Yeah, that like whole week that I was out.
Yes, I know. What do you care? I don't get anything important from Prestige. I just get to say I'm higher level than you, sucker.
Yeah, which is annoying.
You know, I get to be like, look at this. You don't have that skin yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's okay. You'll catch up now.
What level are you, Bloodaxe? This is how I get my feels back.
Like 12.
All right.
Look, you can't pick on Bloodaxe. He's still recovering from a very serious heartbreak. As a grounded lover, and I also enjoy that game much, what Obsidian has become is heartbreaking. Somehow I'm more disappointed in Obsidian than I am Bethesda. And that's shocking to me, but I enjoyed Obsidian's work more than I did Bethesda's work, so.
Don't think that hasn't soured on me, because I just went up to New Game Plus 5 in Grounded, and I've kind of lost my taste to beat bugs up now.
Well, it's because what it does is it makes you start looking for something that might not even be there. Because now you start looking at the characters and going, am I missing something? Are they doing something here? Like, then you look at the villain and you go, did they pick him because of that? And it starts, because it might not even be there, but it puts it in your mind that they're trying to influence you because that's what happens when you find out a company's kind of trying to get in your head.
You've had an unhealthy relationship with Obsidian for a really long time. Like, ever since New Vegas, for some reason,
I've had hope.
You've had so much faith and hope in a company for one stroke of luck.
Dude, before Baldur's Gate 3, Fallout New Vegas was the most controlled decision-making and kind of ways you could do just different things I'd ever experienced in the game. Even though I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3, I have enough people that played it to know that it's that plus double. And honestly, to this day, I almost bought it again. I keep going to Baldur's Gate 3, looking at it, almost buying it.
What's that have to do with Obsidian?
I was talking about the game having a lot of choice. The reason that my experience in New Vegas was the fact that I could take over from Mr. House.
Gotcha.
Like, just choice. Then you're going like, man, I wish I could. Oh, I can. I wish I could. Oh, I can. Can I talk the last boss down from the fight? I can. Like, just oh, man, he hates this group. Oh, I can convince him, no, to not destroy them. I can actually go back and pass a check and go, no, man, these guys are with me. They're cool. I like that. Oh, I wonder if I go here first and then I go talk to them. Will they comment on it? Oh, they do. I can say, hey, I found this guy. That was an incredible experience. Oh, I killed Caesar before I went into this DLC, so I can tell him, hey, Kaiser, as they call him in there, he's dead. And he's like, oh, crap, you took out Kaiser? All of that was very immersive. And I said Baldur's Gate 3 because from what I hear, it's that plus 100. Like, there's almost nothing you can think of you can't try in that game, which is pretty awesome. Like I said, I almost bought it a couple days ago, but I just don't want to deal with that combat system in particular. I know that's such a silly thing, but you do a lot of fighting, and it's a tedious combat system to me.
I mean, I'm just looking here, man, and it's like, first thing on Obsidian's plate was the sequel to
a great game and way better than the first one.
So, you know, taking somebody else's work and doing something with it seems to be their only times they have.
True, their original stuff tends to be a hot mess.
Neverwinter Nights 2.
I mean, it's 2, so I mean that's the second one.
Alpha Protocol. I don't even.
Fallout New Vegas, though.
And Fallout New Vegas.
And I hear people like the Dungeon Siege 3.
Dungeon
but no,
Siege
that's the third
3
one.
wasn't bad. South Park: The Stick of Truth was actually fun. Pillars of Eternity. Okay, so they do actually. I guess I think it's somewhere here is where they started falling off, though.
Because Skyforge,
the Pathfinder Adventures, Armored Warfare, Tyranny.
Hey, Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just. I mean, there was not really much difference except for more on top of Pillars of Eternity.
Then it goes down with Outer Worlds, which I still maintain was not anywhere near what I was hoping for at all.
Yeah, the Outer Worlds, big disappointment.
Now, Grounded was fun to play with Bloodaxe,
Grounded,
but I would have never bought it. I played it because it was on Game Pass.
You and Bloodaxe had fun with Grounded. I never really could get into it that much.
And honestly, it's the nostalgia of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. We grew up with it, and getting to play Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was fun. And I got to play with my boy, but would I have bought it? No. And I don't even know if Bloodaxe would have bought it.
As far as sandbox survival games go with crafting,
Shroud is probably the best right now.
I played better.
Yeah, and Shroud is probably the best right now.
Pentiment was stupid.
And Avowed.
And now Avowed.
Which we can segue into. Go ahead, roll into it.
I mean, here's my problem with Avowed, man. And it comes back to Pillars of Eternity. Now, if you listen to Pillars of Eternity of how this game is, Pillars of Eternity's players assume a role of a character defined as a watcher. You know, you have characters' race, background, stats, class, all these really high-level character creation and leveling things. By the way, Flynn says Tyranny actually got good ratings. I don't know. I never played it. You know, you had fighter, rogue, ranger, barbarians, monks, paladins, wizards, druid, priests, chanters, ciphers.
And that affected your actual in-game choices, that interactivity that you look for, where it's a different experience based on what you are.
You built up reputations with various factions, all this cool stuff. And now you get Avowed,
and almost none of that.
Which takes out which is supposed to be in the same universe as Pillars of Eternity, but takes out all those things. All those RPG elements. If you told me I was going to get Pillars of Eternity as an action RPG, I mean, dude, I would have loved that. And that's what I thought I was going to get when I heard Avowed. Avowed's like, oh, it's an action RPG in the world of Eternity. I was like, oh, Pillars of Eternity, action RPG? That's going to be amazing. And then I saw the first video of this thing, and I'm like, where's the influence from Pillars of Eternity other than the world?
Where's my class?
Where's the class? Where's the stats?
That's the big thing is you had stats, and because it was based on a D&D-ish type model of a statted out character, and apparently that is just gone.
Yeah,
it's really a hack and slash.
It's
a hack and slash with some RPG elements, but nowhere near what you'd expect when it's coming from a detailed, very intricate RPG. You know what it is? Avowed is to Pillars of Eternity what Outer Worlds was to Fallout New Vegas.
No,
yeah, you're right. It may be worse, but like what I thought I would get in Outer Worlds,
those are two completely separate games.
True, now that is true. But I'm talking about a level of immersion and in depth, like what I thought I was going to get versus what I got from them.
I still think it's worse.
No, I agree that Avowed is worse. Like they upped the ante because, like you said, this is coming from a truly detailed RPG to a does not even seem like it's recognizable in the way in the elements it has to the original game, which is very bizarre.
Yeah,
I only say to make that comparison because it's the only other thing they've done that I can make that line-to-line comparison of. Here's this really intricate system. You have stats and skill ratings and all of this stuff. And then you went up to Outer Worlds, and it was like just a lot less. But this is more extreme, you're right, going from dang near pen and paper to, Devil May Cry.
So, with all that said, the point of bringing all this up is I wasn't actually that interested in Avowed anyway. So when I hear about all this from Q, apparently there has been massive amount of drama coming out of Obsidian and with the Avowed art director. And I'm gonna put that on you, man, because you're the one hit hardest by this. I mean,
well, this was a big February game I was planning. I literally was intending to be playing Monster Hunter Wilds with my friends and Avowed solo because while Bloodaxe, if he gets in on it with us, is pretty chill, maybe a little too chill, man, level your character, man. But it's like that competitive. Xeno is very competitive, and thus, if I play Monster Hunter Wilds too much without him, and the gap gets too big, he won't want to play with me. So Avowed was literally going to be, I'm playing Avowed when I've out-leveled too much, and I need to let people catch up, other than jumping on and helping, Bloodaxe level. Because he ain't going to level unless I'm there, and he's going to get mad if I level when he's not there. This is my gaming life, people. But now it's not something, it's literally going to come to me as part of my Game Pass, and now I don't even know if I want to play it. I already didn't like the magic system and lack of
got a lot of background noise.
Got a lot of background noise, blood.
Hang on, I got to yell at my kid then. Hang on a second.
But without the RPG elements, with the toned down simplicity of it, and now this guy, Matt Hansen, there's pronouns in the game. And they seem to have been trying to hide it because they wouldn't let anybody see the character creator screen. And it caused a big kerfuffle. I really don't care as much about pronouns. They don't bother me that much. But his reaction is what bothered me because he went on like an explosion. Elon Musk made a comment on Twitter, apparently, or X, whatever. And then he went off on Elon. Then they started pulling his stuff and seeing that he was saying some very, very ugly things about certain groups of people that don't agree with him. And he also made the threat that when you see the character creator, it's much worse than just pronouns. He's like, oh, yeah, wait till you see the defaults, implying that there's even more. So now, the whistleblower has been, and the company has stated that he is indeed an absolute unhinged maniac. Terrible to work with, very crazy, and said that within Obsidian, they have taken this extremely political swing and are very hostile work environment. On top of that, quite literally, there is a potential legal issue, which I think that might be, is that one of our topics? Or is that a part of
this is actually part of this.
Because he made a declaration that he will show preferential treatment to black artists for hiring in a company because he was trying to get all of the white artists out of the gaming industry and out of Obsidian.
Hang on. That's not entirely accurate. I want to make sure that what we say is actually.
Go ahead. We can read what he said word for word. It's probably on here.
So he Matt did not say that he wants to hire specific groups of people or whatever. He said that his DMs are always open, and that if a black creator wants advice on portfolio, that he'll be happy to help them. But it had nothing to do from a hiring practice perspective.
He said he'd give them priority. He didn't use the word priority. Go ahead.
Well, he said he wants to get black people to replace him, and so he can go back to the wilds or whatever it is. But
the woods, he said we need to get rid of these white, crusty men, and I decided to go back to the woods or something. He's very off.
With what he has said, and with some of the people that worked, that no longer work at Obsidian that have come out, there's enough source that from a civil lawsuit perspective, it's worth looking into if you applied for a job at Obsidian and didn't get it because of the color of your skin, potentially.
It's enough to be looked into. And unfortunately, he said this at Elon. So
in a criminal court perspective, no, there would not be enough to be able to take it to court. But from a civil court perspective, oh, absolutely. And that's one of the things that, I don't care about what someone's leanings are, but for someone to take pleasure into setting off somebody on social media and and then tout about it and further blue sky messages or whatever they're calling their tweets on the blue sky thing, that just shows me that your heart isn't in the right place from developing a good game. You're trying to just piss people off. And if that is your main goal and you're not trying to make a quality game that we're going to enjoy, then your developers that are working under you probably aren't doing a good job either. And so why am I going to waste my time playing your trash game when you're not actually into making a good game? Because we've got 5 games coming out, 5 AAA games coming out in February.
Yes.
Between that, Civilization 7, which you guys know I'm a huge Civ fan and played it since the very first game back in the 80s. And then,
Kingdom Come Deliverance is one Xeno's eyeballing. All 3 of us are eyeing Wild Hunt. Monster Hunter Wilds.
I was originally excited about it. I wasn't super stoked at single player, but I was interested in it, in playing Avowed. But like you said, I probably won't play it day one. I probably won't play it the first couple of months, depending on how much traction we get out of Monster Hunter and if I end up picking up Civilization, plus whatever else comes out between now and then. But it's a game that I wanted to play because I was interested in, but now that interest has waned. So if I have nothing else that I'm really interested in playing and I want to waste some time, because Q knows this and he bitches about it on the show enough. It's pretty true. With my job, I put in 60 hours a week. I don't have a whole lot of free time to play games. So when I choose to play something, I'm choosing to play because I want to play it or it's with my friends or my kids. And this is a single player, so I can't play with my friends. And if the content is going to rub me the wrong way, the way several games have in the past couple of years, to the point to where I'm not even going to entertain it. So I got bigger things to do with my family and my friends than to sit down and listen to your bullshit. Now, if I have nothing else better to do, I might pick it up, but it's not something I'm chomping at the bit to play now.
And just to make a quick comment on it, because you really did handle it very well, is that I don't care what Matt Hansen said. I don't care about pronouns. The thing that makes me worried is that no one is stepping in, because that implies that, no, Matt Hansen's an art director. He's not the problem. He's not important at all. He's literally just an art director. He's a nobody. But he's kicking up such a fuss. He's very aggressive and saying things very nasty things. And no one, and in regards to the game, in regards to Obsidian and the game, the fact that no one's stepped up and said, or nothing has come from Microsoft, especially with the implication of possible inappropriate hiring practices or preferential treatment, that implies that Obsidian's the problem. And I've lost faith in Obsidian because no company, when your big game is coming out, should not go, hey, don't listen to that guy.
We've seen this over time, over many different game studios now, that the majority of people in these industries don't seem to like gamers, or at least the vocal people in this industry don't seem to like gamers. We constantly see developers, art directors, consultants, all these different positions within the gaming industry that talk crap about the fan base and even say, well, just don't play the game, which is stupid as a company. It is stupid as an employee. If you'll watch the edge, I don't get how this continues to pass, because if I know the company I work for, and the company I work for is a pretty chill company. But if I was to come out and go, well, if you don't like this, don't buy our software, I would be fired the next day.
Let me put out some I'll tell you what we got available in my job. Let me reference you, because where I work, I can't even. You can't say anything at all. Like mine is like my job isn't chill. Now, luckily, they also don't get along with any of this crap anyway, so they would just be like, what? Oh, no. But, like, you can call them, and they would just go, we don't know you, don't call us. I'm almost uncancelable. They would just go, who the heck are you? But, at the same time, I have to be on my P's and Q's professional all the time. Absolutely. Okay. But to finish it off, I'm trying to segue this into this, too.
Well, I mean, I want to say that. I mean, this is just a continuing thing I continue to see in the industry. And like I said, I mean, dude, my job, we have diversity, And you know why we have diversity?
Because it's natural.
Because it's natural, yes. We hire people based off their qualifications. And by doing that, we have people of varying and ethnicity, religion, and the thing is, we have teams, man. People have their own little subgroups where they can get with people of their own culture, get with people of similar religion.
You just call that going to lunch.
You
just go to lunch with people.
We're remote, and it's an international company, so I mean, it's a way of building by liked interests. But you know what? Nobody cares that there's that group over there, because, okay, yeah, but that don't mean I'm not associated with that person with some other thing that I'm connected to them by and stuff like that. And it all happens naturally. And when you force these things like this and you're trying to push it, well, we only want to hire, a black artist, or we only want to hire gay, you end up isolating somebody.
You're also defining a person by probably the least important part of their character.
Yeah.
You're literally categorizing. I don't want somebody to go, I hired you because actually, I don't care. I need to make money and pay bills. But I wouldn't want in other scenarios to only be listened to or given validity based on my race. I'd hope that also you think I know what I'm talking about or have something to say beyond that. So that's messed up. And even then, I joke, but in reality, I would be upset if I felt that people were being treated unfairly, because I don't want to be treated unfairly.
Well, and that's the thing.
It's hypocrisy.
I think because everybody in the company knows they were hired because they were right for the job, it also makes that learning from other people about, different things more open, because they know it's a diverse group and they know that person was hired for a reason, and it has nothing to do with that,
There you go.
And so they're willing to talk about it more,
Yeah. Now, segue on to the next one. What I'm going to say with this is also, you know what else is foolish? You're making an action RPG fantasy game. The audience for fantasy, due to the fact that part of fantasy fans is the power fantasy. You know where I'm going now, so we're going to roll in a certain... Now we're going to get back on the Elon somehow, roll from one Elon to the next Elon. But your audience is probably men, and it's probably straight men, and it's probably white men. So the stupidity of going, we're going to get our game tagged with LBGQT and politics. Yes, the game's a little bit tied to that. We're not going to bother bringing it up. You can see it on Steam. You can pop it on the screen behind me. But that's not what I'm really segueing into. But literally, the game's been tagged LGBTQT and political. It's a fantasy game. I've known a lot of women. I know quite a few LGBT people. And while a lot of LGBTQT guys do like fantasy, almost none of the women like fantasy. It's just not that thing. Men like fantasy. Just a true statement. So your audience is going to lean toward men.
Well, generally, yeah, we do.
And numerically, not saying straight men like it more. I'm just saying numerically, there's more straight men.
Yeah, generally, I mean, we go to cons, we go to these events, we see the people where there has been an uptick on female gamers and fantasy. It's less in the gaming industry and more in the anime and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's dumb.
It's at least a minimum of half your audience. So even more so, when you get into fantasy that's really ticky and numerical and technical, like, I don't know, tabletop, your audience skews even more strongly toward men.
Well, we've got a couple of things. First of all, Elon did get involved in the whole Ubisoft conversation, or the whole Obsidian conversation, where he was like, should not be acceptable for any company in the gaming industry to be racist or sexist against white guys.
He could have left out that last part and just said racist and
sexist, yeah. It was also brought up that Elon may be starting his own AI game studio. I think this is more of a joke than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, no, just buy Obsidian.
But I mean, it's once again, politics are creeping into games because, you know, and now it's creeping in from multiple directions. I guess.
It ain't his fault. He got brought in because of this dude. Henry Madden attacked him and brought him in. And this is not the guy to get the attention of. I'm sorry, I'm not saying be a coward, but if a guy is literally got the willingness to buy your company to fire you, you might need to leave him alone.
Yeah. I do find it funny, though, that this now seems to be Elon's go-to for when you annoy him, that he's just going to buy your company. We already heard the MSNBC.
You said we weren't going to go there.
I mean, no, I didn't say. I'm just saying. You know, we already heard. You know, he bought X. You know, and of course Twitter. Now. There's rumors he's like, I'll just buy Hasbro, you know, so for D&D as a...
He also told Wizards to burn in hell.
Yeah. And I will say, I'm really, I mean, I've been disappointed in Wizards and D&D for a while now.
But what they did lately, though.
But I will say, I mean, I grew up with, you know, early D&D. I grew up with the dislike of D&D, the you know,
the fear,
the fear, the stereotype, the paranoia, all that stuff. And I mean, and it all started with a dude named Gary Gygax
in a garage or basement. I think it was a garage.
Who just wanted to have some fun with his friends. And to take that legacy and just shit on it when you're using his work to profit is just bullshit to me.
Cultural vandals and untalented scum. The literal thing he's referencing is that in one of their recent things, we're talking about the history of Wizard of the Coast, they attack his legacy and all the creators of D&D with such vitriol and aggression and just biased, almost just plain slanderous claims that I am filled with literal disgust. And you know what? If you feel that way, go make your own damn game and don't be in a D&D company. Because I'm going to tell you something. You know me, because me and Sony, I love the God of War series. I haven't played the new games. Have some integrity, then, you little bitch ass. Why are you working there? Quit and go work at another company. Go work at White Wolf. Well, White Wolf don't exist anymore because guess what? You know, the more you lean toward the more you lose your money. I ain't gonna say the phrase, but you know what I mean? Went out of business. And now they keep passing hands. But, yeah, weird ain't that, ain't it? Weird how to, you know, say it. But, no, don't work there. Don't ruin someone else's legacy. Have the integrity, you loser, to go make something or go work somewhere else. Don't be in a company and go, yeah, I actually hate everything about this, everyone that plays it. I hate the creators. Then why are you there? Oh, it's because, you know what? Because you want to know something I found out about a lot of these guys? This is real. Go look them up. Half of them, they did try to do something, and it failed because they have no talent. They're literally poison vipers you're allowing in your house. Don't keep people in your company that hate your company. Don't keep people part of the interview should be, you should sit down and go, so what do you think about D&D? What do you think about the game? What do you think about the creator? What do you think about it? And if they go, oh, they're a bunch of white slavers and sexist, you should go, oh, okay, get the hell out of my office. Because if you're dumb enough to even apply for a job that you don't want in a place you hate, you deserve to be miserable. You don't deserve to get to vent and attack the company. You know why, even though I go on these rants, especially when it's about Sony, no one at this table gives me shit? Because Q ain't giving Sony no money. Period. Sony can put out the next best game. When Where the Winds Meet showed up, my biggest fear is it was going to be PlayStation exclusive. But what did I say? I guess I wouldn't get to play it. It's one of my most anticipated games. Have some integrity or shut the hell up. I'm just tired of hearing from people who don't even have the integrity to stand by their beliefs, but yet they're allowed to fail upward. Go ahead, man. I'm done.
I mean, here's my thing. I mean, to call somebody a racist, misogynistic person and to downgrade his works is a pretty mean-spirited thing.
This guy born in 1938.
You talk about a guy who was born in 1938 to parents, a father born in the 1980s, a mother born in the early 1900s, 1906.
1880s, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1880s.
His dad was born in 1880.
His father born in the 1880s. His mother born in 1906. So there was a bit of a different mindset then, I will say. Now, you call him misogynist, though? A man who had 3 daughters, who played D&D with his 3 daughters. Now, you think if he really was so misogynist, he would play D&D with his 3 daughters? I mean, I don't think so.
Dude, his game did not have gendered stats. Well, I've seen tabletop games that had gendered stats. His game did not have gendered stats. So the sexist claims are silly.
There were, I think, some races that...
I don't remember any gender stats that I played the original D&D, but there was a lot of material. But OG D&D, I don't remember gender.
So there was a couple of races that had gender stats, but well, it wasn't like every race. It was just like...
I'm sure that was the Gygax OG edition, though.
I'm not sure. It may have been second ed.
I'm going by original D&D. Remember, a lot of people made stuff for this.
The only thing I can remember that was gender was like the drow. Only the females could be priests, could be clerics, and so for the most part, I don't remember anything from the first. Dude, now maybe in D&D,
I don't think he created Forgotten Realms.
I started with AD&D. I didn't play D&D, so there may be something from D&D possibly, but nothing in AD&D forward.
But that's my thing. Is like I don't think he created Forgotten Realms. I think that was Ed Greenwood. I thought, but I don't know. I don't have all my perfect D&D history. But my whole thing is, this is like going to your great-grandpa and judging him by modern-day politics. That's stupid. No one's going to stand up to that test. You want to know a little secret? You can't find anybody that's going to pass all of those tests that was born in 1903 or whatever, like 1938. Yes, we have advanced. It's called progress, and we have progress. But you can't judge pre-progress people by that standard, because when more elements that were more progressive got introduced to the D&D during his lifetime, like very powerful and effective female characters, he didn't have a problem with that because he never did, at least that I know of. Again, unless there's a whole big history of Gygax going, get these girls out of my game, which I've never heard of, but it's just nasty. But more importantly, you're living on his legacy. You're standing on the shoulders of giants and shitting on those giants. And you're so small and pathetic, you're standing on their shoulders, and somehow you're still shorter than them. So it's like you're a negative sum. And I'm just getting tired of it. have the respect that if you're going to be living off of somebody else's hard work, don't crap on the hard work. I'm not going to go another rant. That's it. Just don't crap on the hard work. If you got a problem, do like we do. Guess what? You know why Dicejunkies is a pretty chill thing? Because we're not willing to compromise. You either bite the bullet and play ball, or stand up for what you believe in. But then don't be a sellout. Don't bite the bullet. Don't sit up there and work at the company and complain and yada, yada, yada. And, but yet you're taking a check and you're ruining the legacy and ruining the game for these other people because, in truth, you'll never be Gygax. You know why? I don't even know the name of the person that said he was sexist, and I never will. And no one will remember you. You will be forgotten, dust. Or as I once said in a game, your name will be like ash upon the person's tongue. That is a quote from actually one of my characters when he was asked his name. He was being an asshole at the time. But in this phrase, your name will be ash on the tongue. You will be unremembered. You can crap all you want, but Gygax, Greenwood, Margaret Wiseman, and many other creators, they'll be remembered by D&D gamers long after you're dead and gone. Hey, you're not even dead and gone, and we don't know who you are. So yeah, I'm attacking because I'm sick and tired of this ugly behavior. And, there's nobody I'm going on and on. Go ahead, man.
Yeah.
I just get annoyed. It's so, they're such wretches and cowards.
Let's have a little bit of a palate cleanser. Let's talk about something that is sort of cool that happened, and that is, Gearbox. This has been an ongoing thing for a while. They've gone back and forth, and finally were able to do it. Gearbox flew terminally ill fan to its studio to play Borderlands 4 early,
and he liked it.
Yeah, and he said he liked it. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. It's one person's opinion on whether the game's good or not. And,
I'm glad he got to play it.
But the cool thing is, you got this guy. Gearbox cared enough, or at least wanted the publicity enough to. I'm being cynical. I'm sorry. I'm having trouble being.
If you want to be cynical, let's say Randy Pitchford is an asshole. Because I hate Randy Pitchford, but I love what happened.
I have so much problem not being cynical these days, dude. It's really hard.
They've destroyed everything. They've destroyed everything we ever enjoyed. I'm looking at indie studios because every game company in the West is trash now, and Western gaming's gonna die. You said that. Xeno is really not. Xeno said, "Man, Western gaming's gonna disappear," and he was bothered by it. And when he told me, I got bothered by it. But I love this happen, and what I'm even happier is I'm happy he enjoyed the game because I can't imagine what would be now. I can't imagine what would suck more. Like, imagine if this had been Wonderlands instead. Oh, you flew me out to play this trash? Like, oh, man. Okay, all of my jokes are away. Can't tell any of those jokes, but wow. It would be... Wonderlands, I will say this, Wonderlands will take you up a stage of cancer. That's how bad that game is. I don't know if stage 5 is a thing, but Wonderlands could do it. But the fact that he enjoyed it is my favorite part because it means that he actually got his wish fulfilled, and it was a satisfying experience. This is very wholesome. I'd like to see more of this. I still hate Randy Pitchford, but... the fact that he got to do this is amazing. I hope that they get the game out in time for him to play the full release. Or if not, I will be happy if they could give him an early copy. I will buy the copy. I'll pay for it. I'm dead serious. I'll pay for it. This is a problem. If they'll send him the copy early, I'll drop to $70, $80. No, I'm not getting them. Sorry, you're not getting the game of the year. And I can't get you the deluxe pack, man. It just gets crazy. But I'll get you a copy of the game. Well, heck, you can help if you pitch in when you get them. But I'll get them the copy of the game, man. I will, because I like that. And humanity, we need more of this. People treating other people. Because, my God, he's a white male, and they still flew him out. So, it's amazing. So I'm just glad they treated somebody like a human being. And maybe we need to do more of that. Treat each other like, humans.
Yeah.
Or is that racist?
No.
I don't even know anymore.
Wow. Okay, maybe I'm not the cynical one anymore.
Well, I was making a fantasy game reference again. No, it's not a race. It's a heritage. What did they name it? Ancestry.
Yeah. I mean,
I haven't played a tabletop game in so long, other than like Exalted 3rd Edition, because it doesn't care. Don't be wrong, it has a lot of diversity in it, but it also does it the way you'd expect. It's play what you want, and I'm for play what you want.
But you keep up with these heartwarming moments, Bloodaxe. You're the ones that reminded us of this. You got anything?
It's a great find, brother. Great find.
Well, the thing about Borderlands, and I was trying to find the name of the guy, but in Borderlands 2 there was an Easter egg where you could actually find a name of a gamer that had passed away. That Borderlands 1 was his favorite game, and you know, a lot of his friends and some people actually had gotten in touch with Gearbox, and they included him in the second game as one of the people in Sanctuary.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have a history of doing things like this for some of their gamers, especially the ones that, you know, are no longer with us, or on the verge of no longer being with us. So it does kind of keep in the same vein of what they've done historically.
Yeah, yes. And I think Blizzard has done similar things as well with putting Easter eggs in for big fans that have passed away.
So yeah, I mean, I'm seriously, I like this. This is good. This is good.
I didn't realize it was that far along to where it was actually playable. I know it's supposed to be released 2025. Well, I don't think anybody expects it to be ready in 2025.
I mean, that was the whole thing. I mean, we had talked about in the past, because I mean, you got one teaser video.
There was nothing.
And they're like, nothing. And now the game's going to be out in a year, and we're just like, really? Because
supposedly 2025.
You haven't really showed us much, you know.
Which is weird, because I had saw a lot more of the previous games by now. But I've seen nothing.
But I do follow Borderlands on X, and even though I don't agree with some of his stuff, I do follow Randy Pitchford just because he shares a lot of the information on Fridays, and that's kind of his data drop day, which is when I saw this. And some of the things I've been reading is one of the biggest complaints that Q and I had with Borderlands 3 is every single cutscene, your character wasn't even in it. Nor could you really affect anything.
I had a couple of issues with Borderlands 3 versus the previous. One of the things is I like to snipe and stuff like that. And the fact that most of the areas you came up on, the people did not actually spawn in them until you triggered the event.
Dude, also, sniping is like the weakest combat style in Borderlands 3. Yeah. You're better off running around with a Jacob's pistol and headshotting than you are trying to snipe. The sniper rifles are really... The best sniper rifle is a shotgun, because it shoots a spread of bullets like a shotgun.
It was just I mean, usually there were some people that would crawl out of areas or come out of doors and stuff like that in the previous ones, but not a lot. So you could, toss a grenade or something like that into the camp. Got get a high vantage point, clear it out, and then come in and just take out the rest of the trash.
Borderlands 1, especially Mordecai. Send your bird in, start sniping. But, that's also just a quick aside. The problem with Stalker 2 right now is that enemies just appear, so you just look up and they're up your butt crack, and you're like, I can't plan anything out. And it's a game that's designed for you to kind of plan your battle, and you'd never have that option.
Yeah, and I don't like that. And that was one of my issues with 3. Hopefully they go back to that.
Actually more populating the map?
Populated,
I mean, but one of the things that I've read, at least what I've been trying to keep up with, is that they understood those complaints, and they're supposedly trying to remedy that to where you're actually more involved in the cutscenes. I think that would make us feel better as gamers, to where we actually, something we do makes a difference, which didn't feel like we made much of a difference in Borderlands 3. And once we beat the game, that's when the game actually started, when you play the DLC and started with the loot runs.
I liked all
but I would like to see them maybe put a mod to Caleb into the Borderlands 4, or maybe even a DLC or something along the lines, just to keep the goodwill going, because these types of things mean the world to gamers. Maybe not as much to the studios or the devs, but for people like us, that's really cool. And so we're more interested in hunting out these Easter eggs than we probably would have for something else. So anyway, I thought it was a really cool story I want to share with you guys, and I'm glad it made the list for this week, because a lot of times we have too many topics to cover, and so having a good story, especially with the holiday this past week, I think is just apropos for what we've been dealing with this year, because it's been a really, really tough 2024.
I know. That was a nice upbeat point. So, Microsoft is screwing everything up. What has he got now?
Well, not Microsoft. Ubisoft. Well,
Ubisoft.
So there's some weird things. Apparently, the latest Microsoft, one of the Windows updates, a lot of games are causing it to crash. And so they say it's something, I think, up with, I guess, the way the games were programmed. Microsoft's trying to find a way around it, because obviously the game studios aren't going to do anything.
It's like Windows is trying to protect you from playing these bad games.
So
Ubisoft, no longer compatible.
Yeah, if you're not getting Windows updates, it may be because you have a game installed that is not playing.
How invasive is this game that it's stopping your Windows update?
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's causing Windows to crash on boot up.
You know, this plays into other invasive. This is a nice topic roll into incredibly invasive practices, because it's like, this is invading your computer. The signing into EA and PSN has been highly questionable lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can roll into that, just the craziness.
I mean, we do have
two different ones, because we got one for EA too.
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't grab the one.
Oh, you
for
didn't
EA.
grab that one? Oh, okay.
I mean, it seems short, I think, so I just figured, or maybe I did.
About Nuri and
Oh yeah, I got it here. I think. Yeah. Okay. Well, before we get into that, because that is going to be a longer. I am curious about this.
Ubisoft atrocities.
Ubisoft reportedly pressures Steam to get rid of concurrent player count after Star Wars
awesome.
Outlaws' disastrous debut.
Dude, they already hide ratings on YouTube. How much information are you going to hide from consumers? Go ahead, brother.
You stole my thunder on that one, because that's where I was going to start it off with, hiding the dislikes on YouTube. And now it's like whenever things happen that you don't disagree with, now you want to hide the information. And I'm sorry, but that's all censorship, bruh. And I don't think that any consumer wants other people's feedback being censored. I mean, I get review bombing and bots and that kind of stuff, but this is not bots. This is, the true interest in your product. And if you're wanting to censor and hide that from everybody else, then I'm sorry, but why don't you make a better game?
I absolutely agree. I mean, and here's the thing. Media and journalists, because we didn't cover it, but man, games journalists have been breaking down and freaking out as they become more relevant and putting out crazy articles and just hate against YouTubers. But here's the problem. The more you try to conceal the information, the more validity you give to channels that dig that up and cover it. Well, I would go as far as to say that one of the reasons that channels that hate on this stuff have become more popular is because YouTube took away the dislike button. So you have to go to these other channels that know how to pull that back up and tell you what the dislike ratio is. So if you hide the concurrent players, guess what? Somebody will make an app or find a way to count the players. They will. We know they'll do it. And they'll pull that data, and everybody will get a bunch of money that's involved in that. Or they'll find other ways to track it. Because if I can't look at a number to see your numbers, I'm going to go looking for channels that are going to tell me the truth about you. Intelligent people seek out information. You take it away, they don't just go, guess that means all the games are suddenly doing well. It's like, no, I'm going to go listen to dudes put on face masks and, well, I'm doctor and blah, 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 and then tell me what's going on.
I mean, Steam would be dumb to take away those APIs to get concurrent counts and stuff like that. It's because it's one of the reasons why we trust Steam as much as we do. It's because they do release a lot of information. Also, I mean, once again, one of the reasons we rely on Steam concurrent counts is because so much other information is hidden. It's sort of the only way we can get some form of the truth, in numbers.
People use that because the companies lie about their sales. So you have to go look and try to go, well, is anybody playing it? You have to look to see if anybody's playing it in order to find out if it sold well, because you can't just go look and see how many copies were sold. That is why this is done. It's done because companies used to be open. Yeah, we only sold this much. Now we're doing really well, and they've been caught lying. We've seen games, they pretend a game did well, and we go back and find out the game didn't even sell like a quarter of what they were hoping for. But the lying is why we have to do this. The more data you pull, you know what's even worse? It's going to make pre-orders die. The more you hide data, the more likely people aren't even going to buy games until they've been out for a long time.
Yeah.
Already, I don't buy games when they come out. I mean, I'm still sitting on Space Marines 2 because I'm waiting to see a little more value hit, even though it was on sale. And it's because I can't trust what people say.
Well, we'll say, that Bark Place, where we got this article, has had has a lean a lot of times. But I will say they did a really good job at how they worded this with, because, I mean, this is pretty much how I see it. It's like Ubisoft typically tries to work some revisionist history magic when it suffers a massive failure, which, I mean, we've seen it so many times.
Oh, it got this review score. It didn't sell at all, because it was some game they kept talking about the review score, and it was like a panned game that failed dramatically.
Yeah, and then skip ahead to, however, due to Steam's transparency, investors can clearly see how many people are playing the game. There's no spin, and that's their problem. That's their big
real
problem.
Numbers.
Investors see real numbers.
By the way, I didn't know the numbers were that atrocious. Good Lord. Like, I'm just looking at that and like, really? I didn't know I know it got released later to Steam, but still, that's crazy for a Star Wars game. That is crazy for a Star Wars game. 2,400 is their top. That is atrocious. Now, I don't know what day they pulled this. That may not be current. Nope, that is current. It's about 5 days ago. Go ahead, man.
It's bad because I would buy anything Star Wars related 3 or 4 years ago. And they have burnt so many bridges to the point to where even their guaranteed audiences have turned their backs on their content. And that's scary that, you have ruined a franchise that much. And unfortunately, Dragon Age is going down that path. And so is Assassin's Creed. So unless these studios actually can get a grip, even if they hide this content, everyone's so plugged into YouTube nowadays that they're going to be able to get the information between DEI detected or just word of mouth whether or not these things are worth buying anymore. And I don't think any of us that are on this channel pre-order games anymore just because we are so fed up with getting burned. I mean, I think the last time I pre-ordered a game was Wonderlands, and that was 2022. And so I've gotten to the point to where now I don't pre-order games anymore because you just don't know what you're going to be getting. And them trying to pull this mess just makes it even more to the point that, we're going to wait probably well beyond the first couple of weeks just to see what the content's going to be like and how people that we trust are enjoying the games.
Look at that, though. Oh, my God. Bloodaxe, look at that. Holy crap, that just came out like last weekend. It's already 25% off. And it didn't even break 3,000 players. And it came out this year. So this isn't like one of those games that got released on Steam like a year later, right? That's still a 2024
It's a brand new
the game
game.
did initially come out August 27th.
It's not that long ago.
So it is a
only been a
late
couple
to
months.
Steam.
I mean, the Space Marine 2, the collector's edition is 20% off, but the base edition
That's not
isn't.
that late. That's like 2 months.
Yeah, but it's still late to Steam, which means your biggest hype, your biggest people, they went and got it in the Ubisoft store. Now, here's the thing.
Oh,
The
okay, so it was
Ubisoft-
on PC. It just wasn't on Steam.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was his initial PC release. That's my lack of knowledge. Now, are you sure about that? Don't give me bad info either. I assume that was his
Yes.
actual. Okay, so it was released in the Ubisoft store. It just didn't come to Steam until that. But I also saw that its rating on PlayStation, if you go back a page, was still 3.8. So it has a bad score on PlayStation.
Yeah.
3.8. Even IGN gave it its worst score, 7 out of 10. Because IGN scores everything 7 out of 10 now. By the way, no, that's a real joke. That if you have any particular elements in your game, the minimum you get is a 7 out of 10. There's a whole, you go look it up, there's a whole string of them going, this game got a 7 out of 10. It's literally was the worst selling game of the year. Like, IGN's got a rule, 7 out of 10 if you have some kind of diversity. But, so 7 out of 10 is an insult from IGN. It meant, oh God, we have to give it our lowest score we're allowed.
But, I mean, Ubisoft does claim that they are going to start pushing, I think, on Steam, at release.
But what's your projected improvement? How much more do you think they would have got if they'd have done it 2 months earlier?
I mean, I figured you probably would have seen 20,000.
I thought you were going to say 4. Nah, man, 5,000. I'll give them 5 at best.
Nah, man. I think there was enough people out there that would have bought the game at release.
Disagree.
That's fine. You
I
can.
disagree. Oh, wow. It's 43% off on Amazon. You sure you want to stick with that number you just called? Now do you know it's 43% off?
Hey, what was Dragon Age concurrent?
Veilguard? Oh, my. Actually, it beat that number.
Dragon Age was 89,000. So
Yeah.
I think Star
That's
Wars
Dragon
should have
Age,
gotten 2030.
Yeah, but Dragon Age has a higher fan base than Star Wars Outlaws would.
That's why I say 2030. 20 to
Yeah,
30,000.
I'll give you... you know what? When the Ubisoft numbers come out, we'll add it to that. How about that? When we can...
You're playing as a
Never
Jedi?
coming out, buddy.
I mean, the one from the Ubisoft... Oh, yeah, you're right. They'll never tell anybody. I forgot. It's Ubisoft. They'll never say... What's funny is they can't even do the review score on this one because it got a bad review score across the board. They can't even do their normal revisionist history. It not only has no players that didn't sell, it doesn't have a high review score. Man, you know what? I got to give Ubisoft credit, though. That was a stealth failure that slid under the radar, but in their defense, dude, Concord just really took the failure flag, and everybody else looks small by comparison. And the next one's Assassin's Creed Shadows. That's the next really big failure. Not Concord bad, because I don't know how the heck Concord got that much money, but it'll be number 2 historically bad game crash.
I mean, the good thing is this may make it where more people push their games on Steam, because we're taking Steam as our core
barometer.
Barometer, yeah, because they're the only ones giving us information. So if you don't release on Steam, even if you did well, you look bad.
Yeah. And then when your numbers do hit Steam, they look terrible.
Yeah.
Like, because Xeno's saying you lose, you're going to have 10% of the numbers you would normally have, which is a serious drop. That's the reason I'm saying that, too, because, wow, that's massive. You lose 90%.
Well, because most of your fans, dude, come on, most of your fans, most of the people who play games, they want to get the game as early as possible. And
you could be right. 90% could be a correct
I
assessment.
mean, I bent the knee and got games on Epic, even when I didn't want to, because I really wanted to play the game.
Hey, man, of all your bendings and knees, while I understand it, I feel sad for you that Dragon Quest ended up still being a disappointment. Because the thing about what they put in there, I thought it would only matter at the beginning of the game, then you could push through. So I had hope you would enjoy that game if you just ignored that. The fact that it actually manages to screw up later mechanics.
Well, they just make it more confusing. And, I mean, it's just sort of annoying. But, and the fact of the inconsistency, it's like, why do you even bother if you use male and female terms throughout the story?
I mean, yeah. But I mean, I just hate to see nostalgia ruined. As someone who's suffered at the hands of it, I hate to see anyone's nostalgia ruined. You know, it hits different.
So let me ask y'all this: do y'all honestly think that Assassin's Creed is going to come out in February?
No.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I agree. I think it will because it doesn't matter anymore. It's so dead. It's number 638 on the Steam wish list, which is so low. That's not even in the top 500. It's so bad. I believe that they're going to choose to not release it at all before they would move it back again. I think they're going to go for the Black History Month angle, push it out in February, call everybody racist, and get their IGN 7 out of 10 and roll with that. They might even send IGN a little something extra to get an 8 or 9, then go by that score and ignore the other terrible scores because it's Ubisoft. And that's what
they do know that doesn't work anymore because we're now just self-identifying as phobes and ist and all the other things just because we're tired of being accused of things that we know that we're not. And so, yeah, so I mean, even you have often said, you know what, if I don't agree with it, that I'm transphobe, and call me transphobe. I don't care. And we don't because we know it's not true. And I really think that they should just bite the bullet and revamp it and do a good quality game or take the tax write-off and shelve it. And pull a Batwoman or Batgirl, whatever that movie was that we'll never see, thank God.
Yeah, see, they have been known to pull stuff. Well, like Flynn is killing it in the chat, man. He said, I don't know if it'll come out now that it will release, now they said that most developers are new. Well, and also because this is on February, we win because it's 2 black guys versus 2 white guys, so we win. It's either not coming out or coming out in February. We outrank you. No, but like, seriously, I agree with Flynn, and it's either not going to come out or they're going to play it in February and go, you're not allowed to hate on it because it's Black History Month.
I could see that. I mean, you have a good point there. I just don't know, man.
Maybe they'll add Malcolm X and Martin Luther King as background characters in a game. What? It's Assassin's Creed. They could try to play that. Turns out
Japan. It's in Japan. It's not.
They're doing a battle network pass for this thing, man. They can do anything they want. They already don't care about history. They've already proven that. Or do I need to remind you of the one-legged Tory gate? They don't give a flip.
All right.
They referenced like something from...
Speaking of games not working out very well.
Oh, yeah, I watched this one, yeah. Because I've been keeping up with Mortal Kombat.
Apparently, Mortal Kombat has canceled future content because their last few DLCs didn't do so well.
Yeah, they had like more combat packs claimed. They've literally given up on this fighter. They've said, we're done. It's not selling. We're going to finish out this combat pack and then we're through. Because they were supposed to keep going. This was supposed to go on for a while, and they've already basically acknowledged it's dead. And that's what's wild, just because this is a fighting game, man. And you know, Mortal Kombat usually releases like 9 packs by the time they're done. The roster's like, you know, that long. Looks like, but they basically said this DLC's not selling, which why wouldn't it be? I mean, of course not. Nobody cares for the Sector and Cyrex. I had a talk with somebody about it on the other side of the fence because I like to do that. I like to hear from other people. And even they stated, their statement was this. They didn't really defend it as much as they said, those characters are so irrelevant, it's okay you gender swap them because nobody cares. And I said, I see your point of view and I agree. They are kind of irrelevant, but they do have fans. There are people that play Sector and Cyrax in every game they come out. And those are the people who you're trying to sell them to because they're kind of irrelevant to the story. The only people that are going to buy this pack for those 2 characters are fans of those characters, and you swap them. So I still think it was a bad business move, but canonically it works in the story now. They did multi-dimension and multi-timelines. They're from an alternate timeline from what I understand, so they're legit story-wise, bad call. Now me, personally, I don't think about the game's bombing. I think that the Mortal Kombat DLC's been pretty suck.
I mean,
in general.
Is it the genre? Because I
think so.
Tekken just sort of bombed. You know,
Tekken's doing better than Mortal Kombat.
Street Fighter, not really great.
Yeah, you get excited when a character, you know, comes back and then you quickly lose interest. I'll watch videos for about a week and then, like, oh, Bison, oh, Kuma. Then I'm done.
I mean, did we need a new injection into the fighting genre or some new element? Or...
Bring back DOA. I miss DOA and Soul Calibur. But
Soul Calibur, we didn't play it that much. I mean, 'cause I think most of the fighting games, if I'm going to play a fighting game, I'm going to go back to Street Fighter 2 or Soul Calibur 2 or play Killer Instinct.
Well,
because those are the games we grew up on, and we fell in love playing couch co-op with our friends. Everything's so online nowadays that if they had made it easier to play Soul Calibur online, we would have done it. We tried. And it it wasn't an easy thing for us to be able to pass the controller around up in Jackson and me play down here.
I mean, my thing is, I think it comes down to too much predictability built into. Now that we're in the information age, everybody can look up the exact pixels, the exact this, the exact that, and there's not as much, I don't know, just excitement and fun of figuring things out anymore. And I think that hurts the fighting community a lot. I think that's why the only fighting game I think that's still really that much that's super fun is I mean, there was DOA because it gave you a little more controllability with the counters and stuff like that. So there's a little more.
Stop some of the just spam.
And then there's like Smash Brothers, because once you get more than 2 people in the game, it becomes chaotic enough to be fun.
Yeah. One-on-ones get in a technical. And those, like Smash Brothers at least has a skill ceiling where the crazy Smash Brothers players are rarer, so you can actually go online and you can play with your friends and everyone has fun. Because also fighting games now do have this kind of like crazier skill ceiling, where there's a point to where you can't even play with normal people anymore. Like, this is a level, the game, and also it gets repetitive. But let me tell you what's wrong with Mortal Kombat 1. The biggest flaw of Mortal Kombat 1, which also kind of to me is the same problem with Street Fighter, is that, like, not Tekken though. Tekken 8, you go into the move list, they got a big move list. They've also been simplifying fighting games. Dude, Mortal Kombat, the last Mortal Kombat we had, there were different move sets for characters, which dramatically changed how they played. I used to love watching videos and seeing one person play Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator completely different because they were using a different move set.
That was the cool thing. What was that, 12 or 11, where you build out the move set so you can actually...
Oh, you can also modify it, but they just had presets. Because most of the tournament, you had to do a preset. They played so differently. And I would love it because the meta would change and somebody would be like, I'm playing a different Jax than your Jax. You know, and I'm playing a different Terminator than your Terminator. So I really like that character. That was a fun addition. But this one, the move list is really small. So the combos are extraordinarily repetitive. As somebody who actually watched a lot of gameplay of Mortal Kombat 1 and even tried to play it, did not have fun, it's very repetitive. You will see nothing but the same combos over and over because there isn't that many moves. They're really simple. If you play Scorpion, you play Scorpion one way. And there is no other way because there isn't another move set. Whereas I remember, dude, there was like, I'm spinning the chain around Scorpion, and then there's like, I'm teleporting Demon Scorpion. Yeah, they simplified it. It's also a less intelligent game.
The only problem with that one was you had to go and unlock a lot of those move sets to be able to actually utilize them.
Or pay.
Yeah, or pay.
Which NetherRealm Studios. But my point is that the game lacks diversity, and that even in a game like Tekken, the reason Tekken's not that fun to watch is that the moves that extend your combo the last 30 seconds are the same moves, so it's got purely optimized way to play. And I kind of miss games where there was options. You could play the character a little differently and it still worked. But now they either simplify the game to where there's not a lot of options, or they have mechanics that aren't fun to deal with. Honestly, I don't believe a combo should even go over 10 hits anymore. I think that's what's ruining a lot of games, is these long, boring juggles. Man, because what I said, the amount of clashes you have in a fighting game should be more than 3. It shouldn't be, I land 3 launchers, game over. In some games, 2 launchers. That's a short game, ain't it, Bloodaxe? Now, when we played Soul Edge and Soul Calibur, maybe it's because we sucked, we didn't barely know combos, so it was head-to-head, man. It's back and forth. Me and Xeno back and forth. Anybody could win because you didn't just go, oh, no, I hit you with this one move. Now you never really land.
No, there was a Mitsurugi juggle that I couldn't get off the ground, and you stopped doing it because it wasn't fun for you or me.
Well, there was a way to stop
ways
it.
to
You
do
just never rolled when you hit the ground. I told you, you got to roll away when you hit the ground so it doesn't pick you back up. But you're right, it was very hard to stop. But also, I played Mitsurugi very rarely because of that.
Yeah.
But most of our classes
you
were
like playing Astaroth to my Nightmare, because those are always just classic battles. But
oh yeah, brawls. Astaroth versus Nightmare was beautiful slugfest. And even when we play Tekken, me and Zeno's favorite way to play Tekken is to get like Brian and Steve or Brian and Paul or Brian and another heavy hitter and just throw knuckles. Just throw heavy punches and have a fist fight. We take the character's shirt off. I miss in Tekken 7 we could fight in the rain. Remember that? Like a seed from what was the movie Fight Club? But we're just like brawling, man. We used to have Marduk versus Brian fights that were literally just fist fights. And that's fun. It's fun to not always like, but I mean, you watch a Tekken 8 tournament match, you're going to watch them fight where it's, oh, well, that was 2 juggles, match over. He's going to juggle them all the way to the wall, off the wall, back off the wall, through the exploding floor bounce again. And I'm like, that's not fun. And that's why we like DOA, because even though it was possible juggling DOA, a lot of stuff you could interrupt because of its counter system. So you were able to always be engaged in a game. Here's the thing. You should never be able to put your controller down for 10 seconds. And that's a valid thing to do. You should never in a fighting game, oh, he launched me. I can literally set my controller down, count to 10, pick it back up, and I still haven't hit the ground. That's not fun. And I think that's what's killing fighting games too. They're becoming a lot of that, where they keep thinking bigger number, bigger combo, and I'm like, no, make people work for it. Make them clash more often, head to head, man. Make it sweaty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love sweating in a game. But anyway, that's enough on that.
All right. Last thing we had was, just more on why you shouldn't want to see PlayStation attach themselves to your games.
Oh, yeah.
The big Muhar thing.
Yeah. So I'm going to go through this relatively quickly because, I mean, we've sort of beaten on this for a while. But we did recently get an article from Abdul Hakam, who is a big-time PlayStation Network user and
trophy collector, all of that.
And apparently, I mean, he got his account got banned, permabanned
at first.
He called. They wouldn't help him.
They wouldn't even tell him why. It
Yeah,
took like months to find out why he was permabanned.
Yeah, it ended up being a lot of questionable stuff going on at Sony. And
he finally got down to it with to a temporary ban, but I mean the stuff they claimed even when he did find out was dumb. They were like, "Well, you're getting trophies too fast. If you've played enough games, sometimes you sign to a game and it'll give you a bunch of trophies because it's pulling back data." And then it said, "Well, you have too many systems signed in," and I'm like, "Dude, when I go look at my Google account, I'm signed in on like 12 things at the same time." But he even said, "I am a content creator. I buy PlayStations. I have a bunch of them. He says he owns like 15 units. Like that's because of what he does." So it was very shady, but the main thing is he got banned. He lost access to his account. And they would not help him and were very rude, ugly, and tried to originally permaban him until he raised enough hell to get unpermabanned. You cannot trust Sony. This is why the PSN is a killer for their games, and I won't buy any game that requires me to sign in the Sony PSN network because they'll ban you and they don't even want to tell you why. Yeah. And then worse, they're not the only ones.
Well, I mean, we've also seen this type of behavior with EA, with people who know people inside. We saw this actually with Twitter a while back, back before it was bought by Elon Musk, where people were getting, because people inside Twitter that worked for Twitter didn't like somebody. Well, now you're seeing this inside EA.
EA banned somebody for something they said on Twitter, which is not even their policies for banning your account.
But it was also, because somebody knew somebody.
Yes, this Eddie whatever is got a lot of friends in EA and was able to get someone banned for a Twitter comment, which is not in any way related to your EA account at all.
Yeah.
There's no correlation. And that's like I said, the short of it is you can't trust these companies.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't trust them with your information. They will steal your games. They will steal your account. They will ban you because they don't like something you said that they shouldn't. Dude, my reaction to finding out you banned me for saying on Twitter is be like, what the F you know what I said on Twitter? You stalking me, man? Like, you stay out of my business. I bought a game for you. That's the only transaction here. You don't need to know anything else about me. I don't need to know anything else about you. And the fact that they're on my Twitter going, well, I don't approve of that.
But I mean, this
taking
is
games away.
this is the future, dude. I mean, digital games. You're gonna be connected to somebody, no matter what. Whether it's EA, whether it's Epic, whether it's Sony, whether it's Microsoft. I mean, right now, most of our games are connected to Steam, and luckily, Steam has been one that hasn't given a shit. You know. I mean, even when Epic was over there shitting on Steam just constantly, Epic, Steam was just like, whatever. You know,
keep screwing around, we'll release Half-Life 3.
Yeah, keep screwing around, we'll release. You know, they're pretty cool about their accounts.
Well, they have to be, because I'm gonna be honest. If this keeps going,
but here's my thing:
we're gonna be buying all our games from China.
When there's when there's no other choice but to go digital. I mean, I don't believe we can trust Steam either. That's my thing. I mean, I think of all the options, they are the most trustworthy at this time. But yeah, I mean, none of them. You don't own any games at any of them, including Steam.
Well, like I said, sometimes you gotta take the best you have. But at least Steam seems to not care about anything but money. You know what? I'm fine with a pure money transaction. I'm buying something. That's really my preference.
Yeah.
I really don't want you to know my politics. I mean, know your politics when I'm buying a burger or buying a game. But EA has people with their fifis that has now made me put EA on the Sony list of, I think I have a couple of games that maybe with EA, but now I'm going to be watching them.
EA Play comes with the Microsoft Game Pass, so a lot of the games that you play on the Microsoft Game Pass go through EA.
Like, I literally have already been slowly prepared to do it. I bought, my boys a copy of GTA so they could play it without having to use my Game Pass. I've been working toward it. I'm going to be honest. I'd rather just buy them the game and stop paying Game Pass. Avowed literally has me considering canceling Game Pass.
I mean, the only problem is if they play online, a lot of the online elements go through Game Pass now. You know,
you have to have an account to be able to play online games.
Yeah, I know.
You have to pay for it either way.
And you're our big Microsoft Xbox holdout. I know. Like, I'm building a new gaming PC, but if I want to play with you, I've got to keep that Game Pass going. We're really waiting on you to become a PC gamer, man. I
haven't even mentioned this to you guys yet, but I have been considering buying a gaming PC next year, because I am kind of getting fed up with just a lot of the crap fed up. I'm getting disappointed in some of the games I can't enjoy because they're not on Xbox. And both of you play more PC than Xbox, and I know that you both hold on to Xbox just because you want to be able to game with everybody as a whole. So I'm starting to warm up to the idea of it. So stay tuned. We'll probably discuss this offline the next coming months. But
dude, if you buy a gaming PC, I'll probably give away my Xbox. Like, I'll probably literally give it to my son or like something and just be done. Like, it doesn't get turned on now. You know that because you can see when I turn it on. It gets turned on once or twice a month.
Well, I'm going to have to keep my Xbox because my kids play Xbox with their friends and stuff. So I'm not going to be getting rid of my Xbox accounts, but to be able to play some of the other games that you and Zeno play and be able to run together, it has been something that I've been toying the idea of, but I'm so far removed from all the PC hardware knowledge. I mean, I haven't built a PC since like the early 2000s.
At this point, they come preset. That I used to be pre-made gaming PCs weren't a good buy. They're actually pretty decent now. All you need to do is just give Zeno a price range, and he'll find you a good buy. He did it for my son for his laptop.
I've got two PCs I'm building downstairs right now. So yeah. I built 2 top of the line PCs. I mean, top of the line, dude.
I'm going full upgrade, man.
And I mean, it costs about $3,000 for top of the line.
Well,
and this is top of the line, top of the line. We're talking about stupid.
And I know we're not talking about it on this week's show, but I sent something earlier in the week that kind of piqued my interest in PC gaming and the fact that that Valve is now starting to set guidelines for DLC. That
cool.
before they even put it onto the store, they have to meet certain criteria.
Well, not because of Ubisoft, didn't they? Wasn't it? Who was it that screwed over a bunch of people that caused it? Because it wasn't because of a big DLC scandal, like with a gaming company, that they literally changed their policy to go, you can't do this, you can't take people's money and then go. No.
I didn't see it in the story, but my first thought was Redfall because they offered
a different one.
This. Well, they offered all the DLC, and they go, "Yeah, we're not going to. We'll just make it right." What's that mean? Well, we don't know yet. Dude, I've already paid you money for this. How are you going to make it right for a crappy game? But the fact that they'll have to have certain timelines. It must be out, and you say I'm going to have it within like fall or the winter of 2025. But you can push up to 3 months. So you have a 6-month window to where you have your game. You have to know exactly what you're getting. New maps, new characters, new weapons. Not specifically, but this content will have this information, this stuff in it. And knowing what I'm getting before I buy a season pass or a content pack, because nowadays, like for Wonderlands, we thought we were getting new content. We got 4 bloody mirrors, which are just chaos chambers. We were if we had known that beforehand, we never would have bought the extra content. So being able to know ahead of time what you're getting into for your price is huge. And so I do like the idea of what Valve is trying to do. And I know that that with the Steam store, you get traditionally better prices than I do in the Xbox store. And the rub is I love owning my games. I don't like the digital format of gaming. And that's kind of the one last vestige I'm holding on to tightly is being able to actually have that physical copy of that game.
I mean, a lot of games now, though, even on Xbox, are not coming out physical copies. I think
apparently Empire Sim had a DLC that was 5 years in the waiting for.
Yeah. I think they said Avowed is actually not going to do a physical copy.
I ain't gonna play Avowed either.
I know you're not playing it, but I'm just saying there are games now coming out that are not even doing physical on the consoles.
No, I'm
even if you did have physical, you probably
media.
still have to sign in and to play it.
Yeah.
At the time, you have to be online. They've done that before.
Well, at least with Borderlands 3, I could play offline and be able to, reset my keys that I've used. So there's different ways you can go around it, but
yeah.
The whole digital thing, like with music, I don't like having digital music. I like to have my CDs, then be able to rip it onto my computer and then make my own playlist. This whole not owning it, where I actually have something in my hand, really maybe it's just because I'm getting old, but it really does not sit well with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I couldn't find an exact article there, but there were people referencing different times it happened, but it basically was a case of selling DLC and then basically not releasing it, like pushing it back. Heck, we were like Redfall is a really good example, obviously, but they literally went under and never came through. But that's been happening on Steam a lot, where they'll sell a DLC or they'll sell a enhanced edition that's supposed to get that DLC, and then a year later you've gotten no DLC because technically, you even said this a long time ago. Xeno said they can do it indefinitely. You made that statement. I think it was years ago. You said, yeah, there's no promise that you're going to get that in any reasonable set of time. Technically, they can wait until you die of old age. They can just keep pushing it back indefinitely. Well, apparently Valve finally got sick of that because...
When did Bloodstained come out? Hey, let me look this up.
You look it up, but Valve got sick of it because Valve, will refund you half the time. I will give this to Valve. You can talk about Steam, but Steam has even made Sony do refunds when they didn't want to. They have said, no, you're going to refund them. No, you're going to do this.
So you remember how we were talking about Bloodstained Ritual of the Night and the DLC they promised from all the Kickstarter and stuff?
Yeah.
That game came out in 2019. The DLC finally came out this year. It's like May of this year.
5 years. That's about a
5 years later.
So there's an example, but like they promised it, but did you pay for it already? Were you able to like pay for it before?
Well, no, I didn't back it, but I did eventually buy it, and I completed it.
Well,
but
Kickstarter's a little different, but this is a case of they're selling the DLC on Steam, or they're selling a edition
Yeah.
of the game for $99 instead of $69 that says you'll get the first 3 DLCs, and then you're waiting and waiting and waiting. So now they're going, you've got to give a date, and you've only got the ability to push it back a few months. Basically, something that would be common sense, you got to actually put it out. You need to actually put out what you're selling people.
I mean, Tekken 8's taking forever to do their DLC promises from the, I mean.
So there's the link in case Flynn wants to look up the video that I shared earlier this week. But I just shared the link in the chat.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up there. All right. Be sure to visit Dicejunkies.com where you can find links everywhere online: Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell on our YouTube page. Our boy Damien's been putting up some new game content, so be sure to check that out. And as every week,